Hey guys. So it's flu season around here, and I've been sick for the past week. I kind of just wanted to make a video talking about what it's like, for me at least, when I'm sick, and what that does to affect my sort of gaming routine. I I don't get sick too often, but when I do, it kind of interrupts everything that I'm currently doing, unfortunately. I don't get sick often, but when I do, I get very, very sick. So I got sick last week after I posted the Halo 3 retrospective video. And lately I've been working my way through Ghost of Tsushima again. I'm almost done with that. Really enjoying it. Great game. I was also eagerly anticipating the arrival of Metaphor Fantasio, which is out now. It's doing extremely well. Great reviews, awesome sales numbers. Really excited to play it, but it wasn't a game that I could give my full attention to while I was sick. So whenever I do get sick though, and it interrupts the other things that I'm doing, I have noticed recently that I tend to go back to one game in particular, and that is Skyrim. I have a long history with this game. I was super excited for the release of Skyrim back in 2011, especially because I was a huge fan of Oblivion. I still remember how I got introduced to this series. One of my friends in high school asked me to lend him my copy of Mass Effect, and in exchange, he would lend me his copy of Oblivion. And at the time, I didn't even know what that game was. But I took it home that day, and I was just blown away by the scale, the freedom that Oblivion gave you. I hadn't played too many Western RPGs at the time, so this was one of my first experiences with that, and it was it was life changing. It was so fun, and I got to be immersed in that world for a very long time, and it's one of the experiences that I'll never forget in gaming. But when 2011 came around, I was ready for another one of these games. I was so excited watching those trailers over and over again, looking for news wherever I could find it. And when it finally arrived, I remember how obsessed with Skyrim I was. And I played it all that year. Well, it came out in November, so I played it into 2012 for an intense amount of time. And that's another game that just blew me away. I mean, it is different in a lot of ways than Oblivion, but I still love both of these games, and I think I always will. So, over the years, since the release of Skyrim, I've gone back to it a few times, but I was noticing and reflecting upon this that it usually happens when I'm sick. It's become one of those, you know, cozy games for me. And I don't necessarily know why it's this game in particular, because I like other games that, you know, people consider cozy games, but I feel like this one is the one that I tend to go back to the most when I'm in that sort of mood or vibe. I also play things like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley, things like that. But when I'm sick and in bed, not being able to move around that much, but still want to engage with the game, I tend to go back to Skyrim. And I just find so much peace in the exploration here. All these years later, I still find new things, new quests that I haven't discovered, and just walking around this world, trying out different things that I haven't tried in previous playthroughs, it just brings me, you know, back to that time where I still, it was still easy for me to find this sense of mystery and wonder in games that I don't I have the ability to find too much lately, which is kind of sad, but Skyrim is a game that I believe not only for me, but for a lot of people out there provides this sense of wonder. While I was playing Skyrim over the last week, I started a new playthrough and just, you know, playing it slowly. I'm not in too much of a rush as I've beat it multiple times before. Just sort of messing around in the world. I started to reflect on the state of Bethesda Game Studios and what I think is in store for their future. I think Starfield, when it arrived, it just didn't click with me, and I was very disappointed by that. I know that the loading screen issue has become somewhat of a meme, but even before I started seeing all of that talk online, I kind of felt it. Um, Skyrim came out 2011, so it's been more than a decade now. Skyrim does have a lot of loading screens, but Starfield came out in 2023, and we've gotten so many games recently that are able to maybe bypass this issue. And to see a game like Starfield that was so hyped up for so long from a studio that a lot of people love, and having it come out, having this issue and so blatantly, was very disappointing. And I don't have an issue with loading screens per se, but when they're this common in a game like this, it just breaks the immersion for me. And I feel that a lot of people can agree with that. I didn't really get that same sense of wonder from Starfield that I did from Oblivion and Skyrim and Fallout 3. Um, but seeing Starfield's first expansion come out recently too, Shattered Space, and just seeing the reception to that being so negative, I'm kind of worried about The Elder Scrolls 6. And we probably won't see that game for another few years, maybe. I don't think that's going to come out before 2027. We'll probably see it in 2027 or later. Uh, I don't think there's any chance that we're seeing that game in 2026. But I think Bethesda, I hope Bethesda sees the reception of their games recently and really does something to fix a lot of these issues that they're having with their games, because being able to receive another Elder Scrolls game from them and have it be as universally praised as Skyrim, I think would be so cool, and I really hope that that does happen. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. But anyway, back to the point of this video. Playing games while we're sick. Yeah, I kind of just wanted to hop on here real quick to talk about this. I didn't really have anything else to say on this topic. I'm really interested to know what games you guys play while you're sick, if any. I know that sometimes it's very hard for me to focus on something like a faster paced game like a shooter or something like that, or a very action heavy game like Ghost of Tsushima. I just couldn't play that this week while I was sick, especially since I'm also trying to pay attention to the story and do a lot of the side quests in that game. It was also just kind of interesting to reflect on Skyrim and my experience with it over the years, and how it's turned into this sort of cozy game for me, which is not something I expected to happen. So yeah, that's all that I really wanted to say. And make sure to leave a comment down below with any recommendations or stories about gaming while you've been sick in the past. I'd be really interested to know about those. And yeah, guys, just stay safe out there, stay healthy. Flu season around here, and will be for the foreseeable future, unfortunately. So take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching today, and I'll see you soon.